everyone's job in Auckland to help prevent its spread.
Deputy Prime Minister Grant Robertson said case numbers in Auckland are rising quicker than expected. About 60% of its population have been vaccinated, and authorities aim to ramp up immunization drives this weekend. In India, scientists say they are working with local manufacturers to develop technologies to make COVID-19 tests more affordable to many.
Overall kit production at the high quality, we were able to bring it down very significantly. And right now, as you know, the costs have come down from 4,500 to all the way to possibly a few hundred rupees.
Countries including South Korea, Japan, Thailand, and the Philippines are slowly easing restrictions after a steady decrease in COVID cases. And many see that fall as a signal that Asia is well on its way to recovery. Jamela Lindogan, Al Jazeera, Manila.
People in the capital of Canada's Arctic territory have been told not to drink the city's water because it may be contaminated with petrol. A state of emergency has been declared in Iqaluit, which is home to about 7,000 people. Drinking water has been flown into the territory. The alarm was raised after fumes were detected at a water treatment plant. The source is unclear, but residents say there have been problems with aging infrastructure. In the U.S., the governor of the state of Michigan is calling for an all-hands-on-deck response to deal with a lead water crisis. Benton Harbor, a majority-black city, has been told not to cook, drink, or even brush teeth with their tap water. It comes almost 3 years after lead was detected in the city's pipes. John Hendren has our story.
In Benton Harbor, the water is brown and people are seeing red.
You gotta wait a while and line for some water. Yeah, so I don't know what to do. I don't know.
For the second time in recent memory, the state of Michigan is taking years to clean up lead-tainted drinking water in a majority-black city. When a visitor complained about the water, Reverend Edward Pinkney had it tested and found high levels of lead. He says there's a reason it's taking so long to remove it.
Environmental racism, just what it is. If a white woman would come you see her on a camera with her little baby and she's crying and telling her that the lead is destroying her baby, they would send out the Army, FEMA would be here, the Pentagon would be here, everybody would be here. And they'll resolve this thing in less than 6 months. But by it being a black city, it's a whole different story.
2 years after the majority-black town of Flint resolved a 5-year-long crisis with lead in its water, Benton Harbor's water is even more toxic.
My water sucks bad.
Does it make you mad?
Yes, because they tell us not to take a bath in it, brush our teeth, and none of this, but what else are we to do?
The most tainted samples from homes here contained 889 parts of lead per billion, 59 times the state's 15 parts per billion limit. On Thursday, with residents lining up for bottled water 3 years after the city discovered its taps were tainted, the state announced it would replace all of the city's underground lead pipes within 18 months.
This directive ensures that state government is taking a truly all-hands-on-deck approach.
The mayor is careful not to criticize the state leaders who have committed to replace the city's lead pipes, but he too raises the specter of racial discrimination.
The entire system, quite honestly, since its inception, from the federal and state level, has not been kind and friendly to black people. I think that there's been some headway, but quite honestly, there's a long way to go because of the racial, not just insensitivity, but injustice.
The average income here is about $32,000 a year, just above the poverty line for a family of 4.
Here at Lake Michigan, the water is lead-free. It picks up the lead as it courses through the city's aging pipes. So there's water everywhere. It's just not safe to drink.
So far, the city has promises of $18 million of the $28 million it will take to replace all of its lead supply pipes. It will have to find the remaining $10 million somewhere to finish the project on time, in 2023. John Hendren, Al Jazeera, Benton Harbor, Michigan.
Hello again, I'm Fully Batibo with the headlines on Al Jazeera. The British Conservative MP David Amess has died after being stabbed repeatedly. He was meeting members of his constituency in a church when a man reportedly entered and attacked him. A suspect has been arrested. Jonah Hall has more from London.
At a certain point, sometime before midday, a man is said to have walked into the Belfairs Methodist Church in Leigh-on-Sea with a knife, stabbing Mr. Amess multiple times. Police were swiftly called. Of course, they released a statement not long afterwards. Essex Police saying they'd arrived at the scene at 12:05 following reports of a stabbing. They had arrested a man at the scene along with a knife. That man, we believe, is a 25-year-old young man who has now, according to Essex Police, been arrested and charged on suspicion of murder.
Security sources in Afghanistan say at least 37 people have been killed and another 70 wounded after the largest Shia mosque in the southern city of Kandahar came under attack. It happened during Friday prayers. There are unconfirmed reports of 3 explosions inside the mosque. Thousands of people have been protesting at a border crossing between Afghanistan and Pakistan that's been closed for more than a week. There are conflicting claims about who shut the border and why. Pakistani officials say the Afghan side had been closed without notice, but Afghan state media claimed it was shut by the Pakistani authorities. In Lebanon, funerals are being held for 7 people killed in Beirut's worst street violence in more than 10 years. The city was rocked by near-constant gunfire for more than 4 hours on Thursday, with unidentified snipers on rooftops. Authorities in English-speaking Western Cameroon have called for calm after a schoolgirl died when police fired on a car at a checkpoint. The border and why later Pakistani officials say the Afghan side had been closed without notice, but Afghan state media separatists have been in conflict with government forces for the last 4 years. In Lebanon, funerals are being held. Parliament has amended legislation to allow street violence to expel immediately. Migrants who crossed the border without papers for more than 4 hours on Thursday the measures with unidentified snipers on rooftops. And a man accused in English-speaking Western Cameroon have called for calm after a schoolgirl died when police fired on a car at a checkpoint. 37-year-old later Pakistani officials say the Afghan side had been closed without notice. Peter Doyle, who the separatists have been in conflict with government forces for the last 4 years. In Lebanon, funerals are being held. Parliament has amended legislation to allow street violence to expel immediately. Migrants who crossed the border without papers for more than 4 hours on Thursday the measures with unidentified snipers on rooftops. And a man accused of English-speaking Western Cameroon called for calm after a schoolgirl died when police fired on a car at a checkpoint. 37-year-old later Pakistani officials say the Afghan side had been closed without notice. Peter Doyle, who the separatists have been in conflict with government forces for the last 4 years. In Lebanon, funerals are being held. Parliament has amended legislation to allow street violence to expel immediately. Migrants who crossed the border without papers for more than 4 hours on Thursday the measures with unidentified snipers on rooftops. And a man accused of English-speaking Western Cameroon called for calm after a schoolgirl died when police fired on a car at a checkpoint. 37-year-old later Pakistani officials say the Afghan side had been closed without notice. Peter Doyle, who the separatists have been in conflict with government forces for the last 4 years. In Lebanon, funerals are being held. Parliament has amended legislation to allow street violence to expel immediately. Migrants who crossed the border without papers for more than 4 hours on Thursday the measures with unidentified snipers on rooftops. And a man accused of English-speaking Western Cameroon called for calm after a schoolgirl died when police fired on a car at a checkpoint. 37-year-old later Pakistani officials say the Afghan side had been closed without notice. Peter Doyle, who the separatists have been in conflict with government forces for the last 4 years. In Lebanon, funerals are being held. Parliament has amended legislation to allow street violence to expel immediately. Migrants who crossed the border without papers for more than 4 hours on Thursday the measures with unidentified snipers on rooftops. And a man accused of English-speaking Western Cameroon called for calm after a schoolgirl died when police fired on a car at a checkpoint. 37-year-old later Pakistani officials say the Afghan side had been closed without notice. Peter Doyle, who the separatists have been in conflict with government forces for the last 4 years.